everyone, today we're making pork schnitzel and little dumplings to go with it called sh-spetz-la. Starting off with some pork chops, you're going to need about 6 pork chops. These are thin ones to begin with, but if you have thicker pork chops, flatten them with a meat mallet till they're about 1/4 inch to 1/8 of an inch thick. Just makes them faster to cook that way. Set those aside. Now prepare the coating, which is 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour with 2 teaspoons of seasoned salt. Now, if you don't have seasoned salt, you can use plain salt. But what I did is I actually found a copycat recipe for seasoned salt on the internet and I made my own. Then add 1/2 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper to that and then stir it together. And then set the bowl aside, and then we're going to prepare another type of coating. Place 2 eggs in a bowl and then add 4 tablespoons of milk. And then just gently beat that together until combined. Now in a shallow dish, you're going to place 1 1/2 cups of dried breadcrumbs and 2 teaspoons of paprika. Then blend the breadcrumbs and the paprika together until combined. And now it's time to cook the pork chops. So dredge the pork chops in the flour mixture first. And then into the egg and milk. And then into the breadcrumbs. Making sure that both sides are coated evenly. And then you're going to place them in a skillet. That's a little bit of olive oil in the bottom there. A couple of tablespoons of olive oil ought to do it. And then simply place your pork chops in there. And you're going to cook them about 3 or 4 minutes on each side. It doesn't take too long because they are so thin it does cook very quickly. And you may have to do these in batches. You probably will not be able to fit all the pork chops into one frying pan. So after about 3 or 4 minutes, it should be golden brown on one side. Turn them over and then cook on the other side. And if you are working in batches, just keep the ones that you've cooked, put them on an oven-safe dish, and then just put them in the oven to keep warm in the meantime. And now to make the sauce. In the same frying pan you used to cook the pork chops, add 1 1/2 cups of chicken broth. And then you're going to gradually whisk in 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Now there's 2 ways you can do this. You can sprinkle it in a little at a time and just whisk it in. Or you could use some of that chicken broth that's in the pan, put it in a separate bowl, add the flour, stir it up to make paste, and then pour that into the frying pan. Either way, you're going to continue to stir until it gets hot and bubbly and thickened, and then add 1 cup of sour cream. Stir the sour cream around until it's well combined, and then add 1 teaspoon of dried dill weed or 2 teaspoons of fresh. Then heat the sauce up until it's hot, do not boil, and then put it aside. That'll be your sauce for your schnitzel. Okay, here we go with the spätzle. The little dumplings start off with 1 cup of flour, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, that's the brown stuff in the middle, and then add a pinch of pepper. The recipe calls for white pepper. I'm using black because that's all I had. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Stir all that together. That's the dry ingredients. And the wet ingredients will be 2 beaten eggs and 1/4 cup of milk. And you're going to add these alternately, a little at a time, stirring in between until it's all combined. And what you will end up with is a very sticky, pasty kind of dough. But that's okay. It's not a lot. It's not at all like what you'd expect pasta dough to look like. It's very, very thick. It's very, very sticky. Now to cook these, you're going to need some boiling water. So prepare a large pot of boiling water, and once it's boiling, you're going to put in the dough in order to make the little dumplings. Now to do this, you want to drizzle it in the water in a thin stream. And to make this faster, you could use something like this. This is a potato ricer. There are actually Spaetzle makers out there that look a little like a potato ricer, and it allows the dough to go through the small holes and to drip into the boiling water to make the little dumpling shapes. And then you're going to cook these for about 5 minutes in the boiling water, and you can see they float. They come to the top when they're done, when they're almost done. Another way you could do this if you don't have a potato ricer is you could even use a colander. Put the dough in the colander and using the back of a spoon or your fingers, push it through the holes in the colander so it drips into the boiling water and makes little dumpling shapes. When they're done, scoop them out with a slotted spoon and place them in a bowl. Max is helping me do this. And then take a frying pan, put a little bit of butter in it, and then put your completed sh-spetz-la in there and just saute them over medium-high heat for 2-3 minutes just to dry them a little bit and give them a little bit of a golden color. And you can even add a little bit of fresh parsley or dried parsley to the sh-spetz-la at this point. And then they're done. They're ready to serve. This is an excellent side dish. It tastes a lot like pasta. They are delicious. And there is the pork schnitzel with the dill cream sauce. This was a wonderful dinner. Give it a try.